You have my respect, Stark. When I'm done, half of humanity will still be alive. I hope they remember you.
Welcome back to the Fairweather Friends podcast. As always, I am Veg, and to my left, Ricky Reyes.
Hey.
Not a man of many words. Before we introduce our friend for this episode, got to do some updates.
Update. Veg, how's your job search going?
Oh, so the job, you want to jump right to that? I got the job. It's been so long since we did a podcast that I've worked for 2 weeks doing 12-hour shifts, but it's nice to have a regular income. Also, though, it did contribute to why it's been 2 weeks or so since our last podcast.
Yeah, the weather's been kind of...
Yeah, snowpocalypse of Western Washington didn't help. And then the get-rich-slow schemes. The scratch tickets, definite scam.
Nah.
Won like $325 early, right? And some coins. It's pretty much all I've gotten. Like, basically gotten nothing since.
Roped you in?
Yeah, so I'm still at $325. Still not enough coins for even a $5 gift card.
Damn.
But missed play, the one where you get credit for playing games, $10 Amazon gift card. Only took me like a month. And I promise to all our listeners that $10 will be going back into the podcast. I wrote back in. It didn't come from the podcast, but I'm putting it into the podcast. We got some equipment we want to buy to upgrade the studio.
Yeah. We should probably start with, I don't know.
Well, some new mic stands would be good. Some permanent ones, semi-permanent. But we got to name the studio still.
Gosh, we do. We also have to name our network.
Our listeners? A network, listeners?
Our network, our listeners, you guys.
I still think the listeners should just be the Vegsters, but...
Vegsters.
It would be good for my ego, Ricky. I need the confidence boost.
Wouldn't they naturally be Fairweather friends?
Yes, I was going to say, we probably should just be friends. Fairweather friends.
You are now my friend.
I'll always think of you as Vegsters. But if you do listen to us and you got name ideas for the podcast studio...
Vegsters, brother. That's our first t-shirt, is you dressed up like Hulk Hogan. It says Vegsters.
I'm not against that. I've been growing out the beard, and I was thinking about shaving my head bald and doing the... what's his name from the first Iron Man? The bad guy in that, bald with the big beard. Looks so badass. It's the actor from The Big Lebowski.
Is it Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, it's Jeff Bridges. It could be a good Halloween idea.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, but then no beard.
Yeah, he had a goatee.
The last 2 Halloweens, I've shaved my beard, gone clean shaven for my Halloween costumes, and regretted it each time.
It should be Happy Gilmore's caddy and just let it go wild.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind that. Maybe Corey can be Happy Gilmore.
There you go.
And he'll get to walk around with a driver all day.
And I'll be Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, just walk around doing finger guns and then saying things that rhyme on accident.
Listen to what I say.
But that was all my updates. Ricky, you got any updates?
No, not really.
What about Lori? You and Lori have a plan on when her next visit will be yet?
Yes, she's gonna come down for the Tulip Festival. Just she's never been here.
When
for
is
it.
the Tulip Festival? I'm assuming you looked that up since you planned that.
The whole month of April, basically. Doesn't have a direct start date because it depends on when the flowers bloom.
That does make sense. No, that'd be good. Although it's fucking chaotic. At least from where we live, you don't have to hit the traffic of everyone who comes up from like the Seattle area.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
God,
terrible.
I remember when I was living in Seattle, I would drive up here on the weekend during the Tulip Festival. Like the freeway would be backed up for like miles before the exit to go to the Tulip Festival. Oh, it's crazy. Here you can just take the back roads, but
Working at Domino's, I was delivering during the Tulip Festival. It'd take you 45 minutes to get back to the store.
oh, that's right. You actually worked at the Mount Vernon one. I never did work at that store other than one shift.
Worked there for a while.
But all right, well, there's our updates. Like we said, if you listen, if you got any podcast studio name ideas for us,
We're looking to team up with Jared Johnson and create a network. Is that what our plan is?
yeah. So I want to do a Game of Thrones podcast. You had a podcast idea, right? For one for you,
Yeah, I'm gonna do some skate video thing.
like review them.
Yeah, but like not in the traditional sort of reviewing. Just kind of have a recap of it. Like most to be like into categories. So it'd be like best part, most rewatchable part.
Kind of like
best song in the video.
the ones people do for regular movies.
Yeah, but with skate videos.
Honestly, that's kind of what I'm thinking for the Game of Thrones one too. Let's go back, do a review of the episode, like the synopsis, and ask questions about who won the episode, shit like that.
Yeah. Because if you do try to do that with a skate video and you do a normal review and you just have it on the background, like what are you going to say? You can't see it. It's
kinda, you mean like review it as it's playing?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be interesting though too. But yeah, if you review it, then you can use clips of it.
Yes.
Although I don't know how you use clips of it. You could do it for the YouTube channel.
Well, yeah. Plus you could clip the song.
Audio clips from
and have
skate
the
movies.
skating in the background. That's how I used to listen to music. I always used to tape it and have that in it.
All right. Well, I guess it's the end of our recaps and our updates. If anyone wants to be on the show, always hit us up.
Anyone has a show idea, wants to become a part of the network?
All right. Let's get to our friend Brad Walden.
Oh, no. We lost him.
How are you guys? Oh, am I here?
Yeah, Brad, you're on.
Hey, I'm here. Sweet. Yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Your first time on, we definitely want to go over how we all know each other. I think you and Ricky have known each other longer than I knew you, for sure, right? When did you guys meet?
I met him because Matt.
Definitely through Matt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, how early was that?
Ricky hated me. Ricky used to hate, but I don't blame him. I was kind of an asshole. No, I met Matt when I think we were all still in middle school. So, Ricky's only a grade ahead of us.
I'm 2 grades ahead. 2 grades
right?
ahead.
2. No, you were 2 grades. That's right.
Yeah, we were only like a year older, but 2 grades because our damn birthdays.
Yeah. But I hung out with Matt a lot in middle school and then kind of the beginning of high school. And then me and Ricky started hanging out more when I started skating with him and Hooper.
So that probably was about the same time that I actually started seeing you around and hanging out, because I was skateboarding for sure, like our junior year of high school.
Yeah.
That was when I started skating after school with because Corey got into it too and he had a car. So that was huge.
Yeah, I feel like except for Drew and Cal Vogt, mostly I pretty much hung out with all older, like Tony B and Garrett, Ricky, even Gabe. I think was Gabe in your guys' grade? Or
I think
he was in between. He was in between, yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, I'm just skateboarding, man.
So started out skateboarding, but then I remember lots of basketball
blossomed.
Maybe even right after high school. I guess senior year and after high school.
Because we knew about the barn, but then you guys.
I was gonna say we definitely have to talk. We have to bring up and talk about this barn.
Shout out to the guy that owns the barn because he's a great man.
Yeah, do you guys remember who was it again who knew of this barn and asked this guy if we could play at it?
We played there first, right? Me, you, Hook.
No, because there was someone was it Cody Taylor? Someone.
No.
Who was it who found out about it first and asked the guy if it was okay if we played there? Do you remember?
Yeah, because I think Brad was the generation behind us because we had already been playing there. Remember me?
Yeah,
Tony
but
Pippen?
who was it that? All right, so this actually probably adds to the lore of the barn, is no one even knows. So just for
the barn is just legendary, man. It's iconic, and everybody's played at the barn at some point.
It's our record park.
Yeah, so for our listeners, in Clear Lake, this little town, there's a back road, and these people they must have had the barn already, but either way, they turned it into basically a half-court basketball court, because their son, apparently, from what I heard, was big into basketball, like middle school, high school, whatever.
Great parents.
Well, and he had moved away. And
obviously.
At some point, someone we knew found out about this barn and asked these people if they're okay with us playing. And we would go play basketball at this barn at all hours of the night.
Oh yeah, we'd go after closing, so it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning.
When we first started going out there, we never even talked to him. We just started showing up at this guy's house.
I've never talked to him.
Going into his barn. Yeah, somebody told us it was all right. They were like, "Hey man, this guy, he's a cool guy. Just don't mess with his stuff. You can go out there and play." And we did for the longest time.
There was a key, right?
I
think at first there's a key. Well, they just started leaving it up, and
I know we shut it down because At one point, we had so many people going there, and then they were bringing like their girlfriends and friends and stuff, and people were leaving cigarette butts everywhere, and so we kicked everybody out. And I went out there one day to go talk to him, and he wasn't there. And so I left him this super long, like heartfelt letter. I was like, I just love the game, you know. I was like, I just want to play so bad. Like, I love the barn. Like, if anybody comes out here, I'll make sure that they respect it. And I left him my phone number. And the guy called me. I forget his name, but he called me and he was like, "Hey man, I really liked your letter." He's like, "You guys can come out here and play whenever you want." And then he started letting us go back out there again, which was pretty cool. Because he had, I don't know, he might have even had some stuff come up missing. Because I know like there was a couple people coming out there, like even stealing our stuff. Like if you were leaving your wallet, a couple people, and just a ratty thing to do, you know. So I understood where he was coming from. But
Yeah, I remember that because when I went to Western, so I didn't play at the barn or anything for a while because I was living in Bellingham for like a year, and then I came back and started playing. You know, people started saying they're playing at the barn, and I remember you saying like being on people because you're like, "Hey, man, I fucking stood up for everybody." And then it was definitely more of like your friends and stuff at that point playing. But yeah, we'd go there sometimes. There'd be like 8, 9 cars, like 12, 13 people.
We'd have like 4 teams of 4.
It felt so weird.
yeah, people had to wait their turn, man, for sure. Sometimes, but
because it was freezing.
You know,
if you were waiting, you were just like,
court.
Okay.
Give you more reason to want to win, you know. But
And I gotta say, Brett, you were always one of my favorite people to play against, and least favorite people to play on the same team of. One, I like talking shit to you. You would actually talk shit and get like heated and competitive. Where a lot of people would just like take it easy.
Right.
Brad is gonna drive it on you the next possession.
Well, I don't know. I'm just competitive, you know, and that's why. I mean, if you do anything, like for one, I don't do anything to suck at it, you know. Like I don't enjoy myself being bad at things. Like some things are all right. You can still find enjoyment in that, but I don't know, man. If you want to play, like I don't know. You got to go out there. You got to go hard. That's why I used to always like. I've felt like the same way playing against Cody because I always felt and Ricky too because I was always matched up with them a lot. Whenever you were playing one of those guys, you always knew that they were actually going to play. Wasn't I love the guys, you know, the guys that come to play ball and like they don't really play ball, but they get them hustle stats.
Oh yeah,
it's just that one guy. He's running around and getting every single rebound and stuff. Like I hate
Hook.
Sean Daly
for sure. Yeah, perfect example right there.
Ricky and Cody were the quietly competitive ones. You rarely knew it until they got pissed, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, dude.
Cody's got.
I love to talk shit too, so that's I mean that's another one. Like it's all in fun and games, you know. But
that's how you play.
I like to get mouthy out there. Yeah, for sure.
It was great that it was half court too, because we could play for freaking hours.
Yeah,
because you didn't have to run up and down a court.
I swear that rim was bigger though, because I felt like Steph Curry out there. Some days you just get on fire. Those ridiculous shots.
I did not.
Right.
Never got the outside shot going.
I know everybody would start feeling a little bit more confident, get closer to the door.
Do you remember that first time they told us that they were gonna lock it and not let us come back? I filmed it. I think I still have that somewhere.
Really?
Just
yeah,
us playing. Yeah, it was a good game too.
It's legendary. One time, Sean, when we were going out there, the road was flooded and his car like pretty much got taken off the road. Man, it's pretty intense. I don't know if basketball's worth all that, but
well, because I was on Swan Lake Road, right?
Yeah.
And to go around, you would have had to go all the way through Mount Vernon.
Yeah, and even then, if that was flooded, Francis probably was too. So like, yeah,
right.
It's an interesting area. Speaking of basketball, there was always one thing about you that I never understood on your NBA fandom. You became a Cleveland Cavaliers fan because they drafted LeBron, which tons of people were LeBron fans when he got drafted. Man, the kid was getting high school games shown while we were in high school. So you were a big Cavaliers fan, and then when LeBron left for Miami, you stayed loyal to the Cavs and not LeBron.
Like a man should.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm the opposite though, because like you were only a fan of the Cavaliers because of him. So I don't understand staying loyal to them instead.
Okay. I didn't like the decision. Not the decision.
That was a terrible choice of how to do that.
Exactly. And I just at the time because I'm a big fan of players, like more than teams, I would say, because I'm always going to be a homer. Unfortunately, I don't have a basketball team to root for anymore, so but I didn't like the way he went about it. It just sat with me wrong, and I haven't really liked him since. I don't know. I lost a lot of respect for the guy, and it wasn't even like, I am a big Cleveland fan at the time, but it's not like, man, you should have just stuck with Cleveland. I just thought the whole thing was kind of shady. I didn't like the way he went about it, and I just kind of decided I didn't really like him. Like, I feel like he's a good person. Like, off the court, he does a lot of charitable work, and I think that's awesome. I think he does a lot of stuff. Even his game needs to be respected. But I don't know, man. He just kind of lost me with that, Like, you were right there. You had it. Like, you were winning the East every year. It's the same thing he basically did, right now. He knew that he wasn't going to beat Golden State again, and so he took off. And, you're winning the East every year. You're the best team. Like, maybe he should just stay out of everybody's ear and, play some ball. I don't know. He's just a fucking whiner, man. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, he doesn't come off as the most likable. There's a reason that as soon as Steph Curry started taking off, it was Steph Curry mania. Anytime anyone starts taking off, people jump on their bandwagon.
Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis. LeBron's just not the most likable superstar. He guards himself so much. Even the way he plays basketball is like before Harden. Every team he's ever been on, it's iso ball. Even when him and Kyrie were on Cleveland together, there it was just taking turns playing iso ball, and it's so I don't know. But yeah. He obviously does it on charity in schools.
And what was it? What series was it? I feel like the series against the Magic, when he just gave up. That was another thing that always sat wrong with me. Is in the end of that series, and even when they played the Celtics and lost, you could see him just giving up. Like you said, when I played basketball, like one of the reasons why you like to guard me is because I was going to play. Like, I don't see, I don't know, giving up. Just, I don't respect that either. And yeah, I feel like he did. I feel like there was no reason. Like, they kept double teaming Dwight Howard. And I know that Dwight Howard was probably the most dominant of his career at that time. But at the same time, Keto Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis were killing them, just absolutely destroying them. And then they even had Jameer Nelson, who was playing really good. And it's like they're finding the open man. Like, you have to take the double team off of Dwight Howard and start protecting the perimeter, and they just wouldn't do it. And they got destroyed throughout the whole series. And then just watching him walk around, keep pouting, I just man, I don't know. I don't care. Dribble the ball and take it to the hole. Keep playing the game. I feel like not only just for a personal reason do I not like that, but I feel like it also shows your teammates that you're a quitter. So how do you expect those guys to rally behind you and continue to play their best ball when you're going to walk around and pout?
I remember it well because I was an Orlando fan at the time because of Rashard Lewis and Dwight Howard. And then, of course, they went on to lose to the Lakers in the finals.
Right.
And LeBron proved – so his first finals trip came by finally beating Detroit. And in one of the games, he scored 25 of the last 28 points or something. So he's shown what he can do when he's I'm not going to lose this game. And yeah, you're right. He didn't he didn't look like he cared if he won or not. He looked like he just wanted the season to be over.
He didn't want to have that legacy of losing to Kobe in the finals. He realized it halfway through and he gave up.
If anyone actually thought like that, I would believe it about LeBron because it feels like he thinks about everything 3 years ahead of time.
Yeah, so Ricky, I saw you say that you don't think Harden gets the same heat that Westbrook does. And I feel like that's because Harden has always pretty much been a selfish player since he's got to Houston, and it's not like anybody expects all that much different from him. Whereas when KD was still with Oklahoma, Westbrook wasn't doing all this stuff. It was more of a team game as opposed to him just stat stuffing. But Harden has always done it, I feel like, since he's got the opportunity in Houston. Everybody knows that he doesn't play defense and he travels and he just wants to isolate and shoot the ball. I don't think anybody really expects anything different from him. I think that's probably why. I don't know, though.
Yeah, people forget that 2 years ago when Westbrook was having all the triple-doubles and ends up with the triple-double season, that they forget that 3 quarters through the year they stopped liking it, enjoying it,
Yeah.
and then they decided it was selfish and that he was stat stuffing. And it's like now they're starting over with Harden, and no one has realized yet that they don't actually enjoy it and that it's not really the best thing for the team. He is like a double a normal player's usage.
Capella was out. Paul was out. Wasn't somebody else out too?
Yeah, but they're applauding the fact that he had like 70-something field goals in a row unassisted. And it's like, well, doesn't that just mean that he's not
dribbling up?
He's not passing, so then no one can pass back to him. Like, why is that applauded? Like, they don't play team ball. He dribbles for 20 seconds and then either drives and gets fouled or does a step back 3.
Yeah, I've never been. I don't know.
But man, imagine if Westbrook was playing this way when Durant was on his team in his prime. You finally figured it out with Paul George, though. It's fun to watch.
I feel like once you kind of get labeled like that too, it's going to be hard to, get away from that too. Because now everybody's going to go on Facebook. They're all going to have some more than likely ignorant opinion, and then just because everybody wants to have, say something. So, and it just kind of sticks. But I saw they haven't lost a game in a while, have they? And he's been going off. He's had like 10 triple doubles in a row or something like that.
Yeah, he just broke Wilt's record.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's. I don't really like him. There's another one that I don't really like him. I feel like, and that has nothing to do with his game. I absolutely respect his game, 100%. But I don't really like the guy. But I wouldn't sit there and be like. I mean, sometimes he is. I've seen him jump over Adam's head multiple times and grab rebounds. He just runs up behind him and jumps and But I mean, the guy plays hard, and so I don't really feel like you could take that away from him. I mean, that's really all people are doing.
If he was on
coming up with something.
If they never left and he was a shooter right now, it would be like the best thing you could ask for. Like.
He was the last Seattle Supersonics draft pick, but never played a game for him.
Right.
Did you guys see them ask Michael Jordan, which was more impressive, the triple-double streak Westbrook is on, which is like 9 or 10 in a row, or James Harden's 30-point game streak?
I did, yeah.
I didn't see his response.
His response was 6 rings. Like that was
son of a bitch.
Oh man.
Only Michael Jordan could get away with that response, and most people just laughed and were cheering.
It's hilarious. And I even had to watch him beat the Sonics, man. But still, I mean, there's a guy he goes out with the flu and just kills the Jazz. It's a game winner. And
flu or hungover, depending on what you believe.
Either way, I find it impressive.
I think I would do better with the flu than hungover.
Right. I mean, so and then seeing guys quit. Yeah, I hate that, man. That's why LeBron. I can't. I don't know. especially in the era, that we grew up watching basketball. Like it's changed, and I understand that and can accept it, watch it occasionally. Like I don't really mess with the NBA too much anymore because the whole Sonics thing does sit really sour inside of me. And so, as much as I love basketball, I usually find um, enjoyment watching college every once in a while. But yeah, the whole Sonics thing, man, that's that pretty. It didn't sit well with me.
Yeah,
And
I don't normally like.
I gotta go ahead.
I don't normally like watching college, but Zion, man, when he's on TV,
I think that's a monster.
I always stop and watch for a little bit just in case he's gonna do something crazy.
See, let me tell you guys a story. This is when I stopped really actually kind of watching the NBA as much as I used to. I was in Cascade Pizza one night with Brian Strutzel, and we were watching the Thunder in the playoffs. And I forget who they were playing, but they lost, and we got mad about it. And we were the only people in the bar, and we worked there at the time. And we were just wasted, and so we start flipping over all the chairs in the fucking back, just flipping chairs. And and then all of a sudden it clicks in my head. I'm like, would I really want to watch them win a championship? Like, no, you can't. Like, I can't. I wouldn't root for Oklahoma. And then I picked all the chairs up, and I was like, man, I just can't. I don't think I can watch the NBA anymore. Like I don't know.
I was always I rooted for Oklahoma City because I wanted Durant and Westbrook to get rings, but it was always a spot in the back of your head like I don't want these OKC fans to get to enjoy it.
Yeah,
Right.
The ones actually
get
Oklahoma.
paid.
So it worked out well that Durant got his rings in Golden State. I'm okay with
it. Yeah, I was fine with that. I was rooting for him, actually, especially over LeBron.
The only time I root for LeBron is over Golden State. Well, as opposed to now, I have to.
Yeah.
I still can't believe he actually got a ring over Golden State, but
yeah. Well, don't forget the Kyrie game winner. I mean, it's not like Kyrie, and I feel like Love had a couple good games.
Well, LeBron did right after the game winner, the go-ahead shot, have the block to save. Iguodala had the dunk to win.
Yes.
That was pretty crazy.
And I guess that's the thing about LeBron is that how he can play, and then when he gives up, though, when he's sitting on the end of the Lakers bench, like all pouting by himself away from everybody, it's just like you look at the guy and you're like, man, what? Like I don't know. I feel like like even with Kobe, like. I always had so much respect for Kobe. Like Kobe would be over there screaming at them bums. Like he wouldn't. I don't feel like he would be pouting about it. He would be pissed off about it and just jacking up as many shots as he possibly could because he felt like
he also tried to coach those guys though. Like Kobe, was freaking pointing at stuff and like actually talking about what the defense is doing or where they should be going. Like LeBron, you only see him do that when he's like mad at somebody and he's just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
like.
Yeah,
J.R. Smith, not calling timeout, like shit like that.
If he does a pass and he thinks you're going to be there, but you're not there. Like you should have cut or something.
I think he wants everyone to be his friend. Kobe didn't care about having friends.
That's how Rondo is on the team. He's the guy that points everybody out.
Rondo should be a coach. The guy apparently has got just a crazy basketball IQ. But
you remember watching Kobe's last game?
That was so much fun.
How many shots? Awesome. Like 55 or something?
I don't remember.
Because Kuzma had a 25-point or 23-point quarter the other day in the first quarter. So it was the highest scoring Laker quarter since Kobe's very last quarter.
Dang.
He scored like 60 in that game, right?
Yeah.
On like 50-something shots or maybe even 60.
Against the Jazz.
All right. Well, let's pivot away from NBA, mostly because there's a couple other things that we could definitely talk about for even longer, possibly. And we got a great Marvel season coming up. A year of Marvel movies.
What do you think, Brad?
Yes.
The debut of Captain Marvel.
Another
Spider-Man and Infinity War Endgame? Is that the only movie?
Yeah. Well, those are pretty much the only ones that really matter until Disney gets their hands on the rest of the rights for everything.
X-Men.
But
They're canceling all their Netflix ones.
My understanding of that though is that they're making their own network, kind of like a Netflix or whatever. So I think if they reboot any of those series, it'll probably be like on their own terms. Like I don't really see them getting rid of Daredevil. Everybody loves Daredevil. I feel like
Disney
most people.
Plus or something.
I actually just watched the Daredevil one, and yeah, it was pretty good.
Jessica Jones and Punisher just got canceled the other day, I think.
Yeah, those are the 3 that are coming out this year, though. And then Morbius is coming out in 2020. What the hell is that?
Jared Leto plays Morbius. He's a vampire.
Oh, it's the one who pops up in Spider-Man Endgame.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
See, well, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Or Far From... Sorry, Endgame is Avengers.
Endgame is going to change everything. Everything, the Marvel Universe, I feel like, as you know it, will be completely different.
Well, so one thing that bugs me, so the first one coming out this year is Captain Marvel, which looks really good. But so the end of Infinity War, there's a post-credit scene, or is just the very end of it, you see
Samuel L. Jackson.
Captain Fury calls Captain Marvel. And in the trailers, you can see that it takes place like 30, 40 years ago or something, when Captain Fury is young.
Supposed to be in the 90s.
Yeah, so my question is, why the hell didn't they call Captain Marvel in when Loki attacked New York in the first Avengers movie? Now we're finding out that Captain Fury had this card up his sleeve and didn't think to call it when Earth was at risk?
Because she's gonna be super overpowered, is why.
She looks crazy powerful.
Yeah, and I think, well, even in the comic books, she's overpowered, but I feel like they're gonna make her be like some super badass, But however people take that, I feel like a lot of people have a problem with it for some reason, but it might just be Brie Larson. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I'd like to see the movie before I make any judgment on it. But yeah, she's gonna. Yeah, they didn't need her for one, and for two, like I said, I think she's just gonna be way too overpowered. Like,
well, in hindsight, they didn't need her, but they didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, perhaps if it got too bad, maybe he would have called her in, though. I mean,
I guess. I feel like that's really putting Earth at risk there, waiting to see.
Yeah, so is flying a giant helicarrier above a city with the Hulk in it, too. But he didn't really think, like, which one? That was the very first. Yeah, that was the same movie, you know, and they're flying in that carrier. It's like they didn't really think that all the way through either, did they?
He had that dumb prison thing that was like, I don't know how you were gonna get the Hulk in there to begin with, that they put Loki in.
Right. So
it was designed for something stronger.
Yeah, if the Hulk goes off, I mean, how do you plan on getting him in that cage? But
you'd be like, hurry, Banner, get in this.
It's kind of yeah.
I like to pick them apart, but I greatly enjoyed the movies.
I think there's going to be quite a bit, of that in just about any movie. But I get what you're saying. I just think another reason why holding her off is because, like I said, I think everything's like really going to change. I mean, obviously, like everybody kind of expects that, but I feel like they're going to get more away from the Earth heroes and start going into the actual universe, and then there's going to be more galactic entities that they introduce once they get the rights to them, especially because there's a few rights that Fox still owns, and I think once that's going to be a part of Phase 4, but I really think it'll get away from Earth, and it's going to go more. You'll see more people in the Guardians. I think Guardians 3 is coming out this year, or at the beginning of next year, and they'll start introducing a lot more characters because there's a lot of stuff that people don't even know, and that's one of the big things even in Endgame is that they're saying that Thanos isn't even really going to be the villain. That even though the whole goal is to go defeat Thanos, there's going to be another villain or villains that come in and like the Kree, and that's who Captain Marvel is going to be fighting. Are these alien shapeshifters that are basically coming here to take over our planet and can shapeshift to look like humans so that you don't even know they're there. But the average Marvel cinematic universe fan doesn't know about them. And it's not even the Kree. I said that wrong. It's the Skrull.
Yeah,
Kree is something completely different.
They're in Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so they're like, if you look into their origins, they're pretty badass themselves. So it'd be kind of interesting to see where they go with that, because I doubt it's going to be over at the, they're not just going to go away at the end of Captain Marvel. So.
Okay. We got Captain Marvel. What was the next one? Avengers is the next one, right?
Yeah, Avengers Endgame is 2 before Spider-Man Far From Home.
And they might have an intermission in the middle of that. Did you see that?
In Endgame?
Yeah.
It's going to be that long of a movie? They're putting an intermission?
Yeah.
I'm not even mad. I'll do it.
In one of the because they say in the test screenings people are scared to leave the theater to go to the bathroom. So they're going to put an intermission in it.
So people can go to the bathroom break.
They should. Because in my opinion, it's going to be the greatest movie ever made.
Go to the bathroom before the movie starts. Like,
it's never been a problem.
Right, yeah, but then people get their popcorn combos and their sodas are like 3 times too big for what they should be drinking.
I did that today. I did not. I did not enjoy Lego Movie 2 very much.
So you want to get into what I actually think like probably takes place? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler on what?
No, I'm not. No, I don't know what's actually going to happen. I think.
If you've got theories, hit us.
I think what I believe that Strange somehow either went back in time or found, because the quantum realm like coexists with the actual time loop that goes on. So, or especially when you're time traveling or going through different dimensions or whatever, the quantum realm basically can reach anything. So, at the end of Ant-Man 2, he's stuck in the quantum realm. And I believe Strange is going to be, he'll either give him the time stone in the past, and which will allow them, probably that's where the time travel is going to come from. And I believe that they're going to go around and either destroy the stones or get the stones before it ever even happens. But while they're doing this, this is when this other villain is going to come in, and this is going to set the tone for Phase 4. Like, that's basically all this movie is you're going to see some of your favorite characters from the last 10 years die, probably the majority of them. And then there's going to be an introduction to the ones that'll go further on into Phase 4. So you already know Spider-Man's going to come out at the end of the year. But part of the reason why they haven't, the Black Panther is only speculation. Like, people assume that he'll get his second movie because of how well the first one did. But they haven't actually announced that. There's no second Black Panther. Like, there's no Thor coming out. There's no. So I feel like, I don't know which ones. I think Captain America is going to die for sure. I think he's dead. I think he's actually going to there might be a scene, again, this theory, where they go to, I forget the planet where they go to get the Soul Stone. And then Red Skull's going to tell them that they got to make the ultimate sacrifice. And I feel like Cap is going to give his life to get the Soul Stone for the team.
So you think people are going to get unvaporized, but then a bunch of them still end up dying in the process of putting everything to right?
Okay, well, in all fairness, we know that at least some of them are going to be coming back from dust because Spider-Man died and he already has a movie coming out. And I feel like that kind of dropped the ball on that. I don't feel like we should have known that Spider-Man, because they say that Spider-Man Far From Home actually only takes place moments after the end of Endgame. So how did Spider-Man get all the way back to New York?
I'm gonna say too. Mentally, he recovered from that very quickly. Then,
No kidding.
Iron Man 3. One of the big plot points of that was how much Tony Stark was still struggling with the whole alien invasion and going into space thing. Apparently, Peter Parker has no problem with the bouncing back.
Watching his mentor
With
die.
being killed, turn it into dust, and
But
you know.
maybe with your time travel theory, it's before he leaves his bus and he just continues that bus ride.
That I see. The only reason why, because I always hated the idea of time travel until
I don't like that.
Doctor Strange
until
got to do. He's been too
well, that's
important
the thing.
not utilized.
And he's only had one. Movie.
Yeah,
And
but he's made his appearance. He's a pretty strong player in Infinity War.
He was
too powerful. And to see everything that was going to happen, and we know, like, I feel like Ant-Man is going to play a big part. So how does Ant-Man even get out of the quantum realm? Well, if you go back to Doctor Strange, the first one, the ancient one, talks about the quantum realm, and when she zaps Doctor Strange in the very beginning and like sends him through all them dimensions, one of them is the quantum realm that he actually goes through. So it's not unrealistic that he could find Scott, Ant-Man, in the quantum realm and either help him get out or give him the time stone and, somehow guide him into what he has to do. Go find the Avengers. And
I
can see that. Yeah,
there's so many options they have. Like you said, I'm not a big fan of time travel movies because you pretty much do anything and just keep redoing shit.
But it's the way that they do it is interesting.
I know. So that's I got high hopes because they've done everything else so well.
I think to be smart, they'd have to kill off RDJ, Hemsworth, and Evans. Just get rid of those three guys.
I think I'm not
Evans
sure about
and Robert Downey said it will be their. I think they said that it'll be their last movie, whether they die or not.
If they're really gonna jump into the next phase, then they gotta get rid of those three guys.
I really think Thor is probably going to stick around for a little bit. I think Hemsworth will probably continue on as Thor for a little bit. I'm not sure about Iron Man. I think he's probably done, but I'm pretty much 99% sure everybody's going to see Captain America die in this movie.
Jared Wilder.
Captain America fan?
Huh? Yeah. He's also a model American like Captain America.
By whose standards? Yeah, well, it's definitely an interesting year. If they do the not Earth stuff, I think the first two Thor movies are the first not on Earth Marvel movies they really had, and they did not go well. But then they figured it out for Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok. So
they're doing TV shows on the side for that new Disney platform you're talking about, Brad.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard about those?
No.
They're doing a Loki TV show.
Oh, I heard about that.
Oh yeah, I did.
And they're doing another one. I forgot who it was.
I feel like they're gonna oversaturate the market with Marvel shit.
Well, it's the only way you're gonna be able to see Loki because the fool got canned by Thanos.
I really think everybody except for Gamora will probably be able to come back. I don't feel like they'll be able to bring Gamora back because she was sacrificed, but I feel like all the people who were dusted or just killed, no matter what, like this. Okay, so in the comic books, Nebula is actually the one that comes in and gets the gauntlet from Thanos, and then she kind of goes crazy for a minute before, I believe, Adam Warlock, who they introduced at the end of Guardians 2. The big egg. Do you guys remember the big egg at the end of Guardians?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Adam Warlock. And Adam Warlock is another super overpowered player in this whole thing. And I think that's kind of why they've kept him out of it. Because he's a
difference maker in the comics for the
Yeah, because he's the one, and him and Silver Surfer, but Silver Surfer doesn't really do that much. He just kind of does what um, Adam Warlock tells him to do, basically. But um, yeah, and the guy he's super powerful, and I think that's kind of what I believe Captain Marvel is kind of going to step into that role because there's a lot of people that have switched, even though they play a similar role to the storyline in the comic books, the Russo brothers have always said that they're going to change things a little bit to keep people guessing so that, you don't know exactly what's going to happen, kind of like you said you did in Game of Thrones.
Do you think DC's answer with Shazam will be a big hit?
I think
every time I see trailers for that, it's like, so they just decided dark and brooding wasn't the way to go, so they went.
Hey, I think it looks dope.
Crazy comedy of like just laughing about being a superhero.
My biggest problem with DC is that they have no character development. Like I feel like that's the thing that makes Endgame or even Infinity War so big is that you've watched these same characters over the last 10 years. Nobody has changed. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like how many Batmans have you known in your lifetime?
That's true.
Which Batman was your favorite? There's a good question. Who's the best Batman of all time? Christian Bale?
Well, it was the best Batman movies.
I was going to say movies or voice. Are we including voice?
I don't know. Either one.
Because the dude from the animated series, Kevin Conroy, that guy, he's been playing Batman forever.
Oh, yeah.
But
see, I feel the same way about Wolverine. Like, I never really liked Hugh Jackman as Wolverine because Wolverine was one of my favorite cartoon and comic book characters, and he doesn't even look like Wolverine. He's a tall, skinny guy, not a short, like stacked guy, And I always like Wolverine in the cartoons a lot better. His voice always sounded a lot more like what I felt Wolverine would sound like.
There's well, the DCU was supposed to be a lot different, the Snyderverse or whatever. There's actual like storyboards and like people that worked on the film that said he's actually talking to Green Lantern in the Justice League, and then the second part the Green Lantern shows up, and then they added somebody else too, but they cut it all before they actually made it.
Do you remember the intro song to that X-Men cartoon? It was like
yeah.
Well, there's a Chris Brown song. It's either the one with Jules Santana, or he does one with Lil Wayne. I think it's the one with Lil Wayne. I'm pretty sure they took that from the X-Men song. It's the same. It's like back when Chris Brown was 16, and I've never heard it until the other day. And this guy that I was working with, it like came on my phone, and he goes, "Is that from the X-Men cartoon?" And it sounds exactly like it. And I'm pretty sure they sampled that from the cartoon, man. I was like, whoa, Chris Brown.
Have to check it out.
Yeah. I'll find the song. I'll send you the link, man. It's pretty funny. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. There's no going back. It's the X-Men theme song forever after that.
They're making a new Ultimate Alliance for Switch, Brad?
That would be incredible.
Yeah, it's only going to be for Switch, though.
That Switch.
Nintendo Switch?
Oh, the Nintendo Switch, yeah.
Yeah, Timmy has one of those. So they're pretty cool. I might get one if it has
small screen.
That would be worth it. Well, Nintendo's joining Xbox Live. Did you see that?
No,
yeah, it's cross-platform.
Yeah.
Just for the online stuff?
I think so.
Oh, that'd be interesting. All right, well, before we switch topics, we got to do our recurring bit. We blowing up, Ricky? I don't know if you've listened to the show, Brad. This is where because me and Ricky were obviously very good at this, even though our download numbers wouldn't agree. Yeah. Eventually, people are going to want to advertise on our show. Yes. So this is where we practice going to advertisers, and then we record a fake sponsor and edit them in. So, Ricky, do you want to take us to break on this one? We got to take turns practicing.
That's true. And we will be right back.
No fake sponsor today. We actually want to promote a podcast by our frequent friend, guest, Jared Johnson.
Brother. Yes. He started a podcast called, what is it, Seattle Sports Today?
Seattle Sports Today. And he called upon us for a segment he does on it that he's going to do called Tossing It Up to the Homies.
Pass it to the homies?
Pass it to the homies?
Pass it to the homies.
He gave us a question, a sports-related question ahead of time so that we had a chance to think about it before we recorded.
In usual fashion, we didn't do much thinking about it.
Nope. I did Google a few. So the question he gave us for his first episode, second episode of the show, first episode doing Pass It to the Homies, was most overrated athlete of all time.
All time, yeah.
I downloaded a few lists. Most of the guys were people I'd never heard of because they're before our time.
Yeah, I tried to keep it modern since Vig attacked my good friend Tony Romo.
So spoiler alert, I went Tony Romo. Ricky, did you actually decide on one, or did you name like four?
I was attacked personally, and the only thing I could come up with was Sean Alexander.
Sean Alexander. Hey, you know what? I'd take his achievements and his success in the NFL over Romo's, even though it was not nearly as long-lived. Romo had a good long career. He just never really was a top 5 quarterback, and a lot of people thought he was.
He was a good regular season guy. He's surprisingly clutch for how most people remember him. Definitely.
And he had a lot of fourth quarter and overtime comebacks, but it also says to me that, which I guess this is also an argument against Russell Wilson, but because he has a lot also. But when you have a lot of comebacks, that means you were behind a lot.
Yeah. We don't have he never had the world-class defense that Wilson got.
No, they definitely never had the defense that Seattle had when Wilson, beginning of his career. Jared also made an argument that
Cal Ripken Jr.?
Well, his most overrated of all time was Cal Ripken, but he also made an argument that Tom Brady is overrated because he gives Belichick more of the credit for their success. I didn't think about this at the time when we were recording with him, but I was like, well, wait a minute. So we'd be taking or calling Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan overrated because they had Phil Jackson then?
That's a good point. And the flip side of that, look at McVay and Goff. McVay supposedly a genius. Goff is terrible. So, you can't take too much away from Brady on that one.
No. And Brady, I mean, he had one of the 4 seasons with 50 touchdowns. It's not like he wasn't putting up similar numbers to Peyton Manning. Not as much early in his career. Brady took a little while before he started putting up the gaudy regular season numbers.
But whenever he had Moss.
I mean, Moss, that was his first year where he threw, or the only year he threw for 50 touchdowns. Moss had like 24.
Insane numbers.
But also Brady in his later years here had a season with 30 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, crazy things. But so we did that segment for Jared. He's got that sports podcast coming out. I don't know if he's trying to do it every week or what.
He can hit that subscribe button.
It's definitely on iTunes already, Seattle Sports Today. We're going to try to get on the same distributor as him, one that allows you to have multiple podcasts. So then me and Ricky can also put out some other podcasts that are a little easier to do because maybe we don't have guests.
Yeah.
Having guests is awesome. Love doing shows with guests, but it definitely makes it a lot harder to have a regular schedule, as anyone who's followed us for a while has seen.
Especially since we've already had the majority of our good friends on. It's getting we got to branch out a little bit.
We got a few other that have definitely said they want to be on the show that either we haven't gotten to yet, or when we have tried to get to them, the scheduling hasn't worked.
Yeah.
I've got a few friends in Seattle that happened a couple times where when
Summer
I did
Ricky.
Try to get him on.
I finally get to be introduced to Summer Ricky.
Got to get Summer Ricky on. We'll definitely want to hit before Game of Thrones starts so we can hit him with some similar trivia we did Brad today, or we're about to do with Brad after this break.
Yes.
And but otherwise, let us know any feedback people have for us. Name the podcast studio. I think we mentioned at the beginning of the episode as well. And thank you for
listening.
The support that we've had.
Yes, you guys are awesome.
Our last episode, we should celebrate. Our last episode is the first one that hit 50 downloads, and it pushed us to over 500 downloads total.
Ah, shit. We're getting there, big.
I mean, I've seen some people posting on podcasting things where after like 6 episodes, they're in the thousands of downloads. But you know what?
You never know their strategy, their street team, and how much
well they're
they
known.
put.
Yeah.
We just basically started it, and then
We also didn't do what a lot of people do, which was a lot of research and preparation.
we also didn't bank any episodes. We didn't really have a premise when we started as well.
No, we've had a couple times when we've been able to record multiple episodes in like a day or two and then hold on to them for a little bit.
Yeah, we're getting the hang of it.
Got to try to do that more on days that we're both off, but it's hard to get people to record before like 5 o'clock because people work during the week.
It's true.
And me and Ricky work on the weekends a lot. But OS, thanks again for the support. And
Back to you, Brad.
all right, and we're back. We're back with Brad, and we're gonna hit you with a game we played for the first time on our last podcast with friends Hook and Liz.
Little different.
So I like to call it, how well do you know the things that you claim to be a fan of? But I think we're going to stick with the name Fan or Phony.
Fan or phony?
Has a little more of a ring to it.
Or you should just say fan or phony, or how?
Should I do Fan or Phony, or how well do you know the things that you claim to be a fan of?
Every time.
I want to record a little stupid song, maybe not a song, but some sort of intro thing to edit on.
We need to
when we
do that.
do it. But we were talking before we started recording. Brad, big Game of Thrones fan, so we got some Game of Thrones trivia to see how well you know the show.
Let's do it.
All right, me and Ricky will just alternate asking you questions. Ricky likes to do weird scoring sometimes, so you might get some partial points or some stars. I don't know.
There's teams last time.
That's true. Well, yeah, but when we did the trivia, they were on the same team. Ricky was given 0.45 points and
But
shit.
no, we're giving points for how well they knew each other. This is why I wanted to pit you against him.
Well, I was trying to answer the questions as Ricky was reading them, and I was writing them down, and I didn't do great. I have a terrible time remembering shit, but we'll see if you remember better than I did. All right, Ricky, go ahead.
All right, Brad. What does Valor Morghulis mean?
Valor Morghulis. I probably should have read that one.
Yeah, I read this earlier, but I forgot what it was already.
It's man. What is it? All men must die or something like that.
Oh, nailed it.
For a bonus point, do you remember the response when someone says that to you?
Nope.
Valor Daharis?
And the
Something like that. Valor Daharis. This is all men must serve.
Yep. I remember. Yeah.
Shouldn't
Okay.
echo.
I wouldn't have been able to think of that though. Man.
I remembered the Valor Daharis, but not the all men must serve.
Yeah.
You come in. It might be Brad's speaker.
Ricky with the sound effect. All right.
That
What
sounds
was the name of the Stark ancestral sword? Their giant Valyrian steel sword.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
I couldn't remember the name.
I can't remember the name. I just watched the episode too where Tywin Lannister melts it down and splits it into 2 different swords.
That knowledge will come in handy later. Yeah, you hate it when you hear it too. Is ice.
Oh, what? That's not even a cool name, man.
But it seems so obvious in hindsight, right?
Right.
I was wondering if you could hear that.
Oh, man.
All right, 1 for 2. Not bad. Ricky?
Okay, let's see. How many Targaryens are alive in the beginning of season 1?
Now, I'll give you full points if you get this mostly right, because they're actually technically wrong.
How many Targaryens are alive in the first? How many do you see?
No, how many are alive at the beginning of the first season?
Oh, 3.
That is correct.
What 3 are you talking about?
The Maester at the Wall, and the Dragon Queen and her brother.
See, that's the 3 they named too, but we find out later that Jon Snow is a Targaryen, so technically it should be 4, right?
Yeah.
But you nailed exactly what they said, so.
Good job.
But at the time, we didn't know Jon Snow was sleeping with his aunt.
But also at the time, we didn't know Aemon was a Targaryen. He didn't tell Jon Snow till he'd been at the wall for a little while.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I don't even think he told him until season 2.
Although at least he knew that he was a Targaryen. We just didn't know. Jon Snow didn't know. Still doesn't know he's a Targaryen. Actually.
You make a good point though. Actually,
yeah, you nailed it.
You don't know if you don't know that the guy at the wall is actually a Targaryen. Because I don't know. It depends on what episode that he tells him that. Because because he wants to leave after his dad dies. So you might find that out at the end of season 1 when Jon Snow tries to take off.
Yeah, he tells Jon right away about the whole family versus duty things because it's like, oh, my test came when I was already old or whatever. But yeah. All right. Question 4.
Whoa. What about the horn?
Oh, Ricky did it while we were talking.
Oh, I missed it.
Hit it again, Ricky.
Wait, you got that one right?
Yeah. 2 out of 3 so far. All right. How many characters seen on the TV show had Valyrian steel blades at the end of season 5? So you were like right there.
How many characters have Valyrian steel at the end of season 5? Ooh, I'm gonna say 4.
It's
I
3.
don't feel like that's right. Oh,
it was 3. Is the
because
2?
I was counting Joffrey. Damn it, he's dead. No.
Yeah. So Tommen has
Yes.
Joffrey's sword.
Yep.
Brienne has Oathkeeper, and then Jon's got Longclaw.
Okay, well, what about Jaime Lannister's? Jaime Lannister has a
That's
Valyrian
that's
sword.
Oathkeeper. Yeah,
And
Jaime
then,
gave Oathkeeper to Brienne.
Oh,
So the
that's
problem is
right.
that they just switch hands a bunch.
Yeah. Right, but what about the little dagger that?
Actually, that's what I said to Ricky. I was like, I don't know whatever happened to that dagger. Because that
No,
is
because
like
the Valerian steel dagger, she gets that the one that was meant to kill Bran, but I don't remember when. Because there's a blade.
Cat must still have it.
Yeah,
Catelyn Stark must still have that dagger. And then if you want to get technical, we find out later that what's his face on the wall's dad has a Valerian steel sword at his home because he steals it in like season 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when you dig deeper into these,
Yeah,
some things really don't work.
I forgot that he gets the sword because I'm not quite there yet. He has it, like I'm almost there, but he hasn't given me the sword yet. But I've totally forgot about that.
To Brienne, yeah. I forgot it was named Oathkeeper.
Pretty badass name.
Yeah, because they had that big long talk in the hot tub where he tells her, what would you do if the king said he was going to burn everybody alive? And then she feels bad for him.
He makes a lot of good points when people throw the whole Kingslayer thing in his face. The whole points of like, well, yeah, I made an oath to him, but I also made an oath to my family and all these other people. What else do you freaking put over what? It'd be tough.
See, and that I feel like that goes into character development again. Like that character has changed so much from season 1. Like when he pushes that kid out the window, you absolutely like dislike and hate the guy. And now, at the end of season 7, he's riding off to fight the White Walkers, and everybody's like, "Yeah, go get him," But like,
when you start by throwing a kid out of a tower, you kind of only have up to go. I mean, you start off by banging your sister and throwing a kid out of a tower.
Yeah. I mean, it's really only up from there, isn't it? The Kingslayer. Yep.
All right, Ricky, what's the next one?
Oh, man.
All right. Tyrion told Cersei she had 2 redeeming characteristics: her love of children and blank.
Do you remember this conversation between Tyrion and Cersei?
Yeah, I remember the conversation.
It was they were talking about
what was the first one that he said? The love for children.
Yeah, the love of children.
I'll tell you this: in the show, he says that one second. He says one first. That's a less serious attribute or characteristic.
Is it her beauty? Like, yeah.
Kind of was her
It's her cheekbones.
her cheekbones. I knew it was something like that. Like she looked good and she loved her children. Yeah, she's a crazy one.
Yeah, and she just gets crazier as it goes. She actually, opposite of Jamie, she just gets worse and worse as the show goes on.
Right.
I just saw the siege at King's Landing when she nearly poisoned her son so that he wouldn't get. I don't even know what she thinks they were going to kill her son or something if they got in. I don't know, but she was about to put him.
Yeah,
down.
well, she was saying that
instead of being.
What they would do is they would kill all of the kids because they were Lannisters, they weren't Baratheons. So that if Stannis would have sacked the city, he would have came in and then killed all of her kids, and then all of them probably would have raped her before they killed her. And so that's why I think she was sitting there. She was like, okay, well, I'll just poison the two of us and be done with it instead of having to watch my kids die and, get their heads chopped off. And
she definitely would have got raped. She's pretty hot.
Definitely would have been raped multiple times too. Because like they talk about it all the time. They're like, yeah, if they come here, they're gonna rape us. And
it might be one of the most common topics on the show is rape.
Yeah, for sure.
The Dothraki.
Yeah, no, they really and they get so pissed off at the Dragon Queen when she tries to save those 7 chicks from being raped, and the one tells her, she's like, I've already been raped 3 times. You didn't really save me from anything.
Oh yeah, but she didn't tell her that until after she killed her.
Yeah, I know. Oh man.
All right. In the show, there's 3 locations that have appeared in the opening sequence every single episode. Do you know what 3 locations? Now, I'll say one is not a city. I don't know if I should be giving hints, but
yeah. I would say the Wall, King's Landing, and Winterfell.
Yeah, the Wall threw me off at first. I didn't think about that.
Good job. Wait.
Nail. Oh, he's got to unlock his phone every time to do the sound effect.
It's on low power mode.
Yeah.
So satisfying.
It's great.
I feel like I'm winning.
I think you've only got 2 wrong out of 6.
1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th one.
Yeah, 2 out of 6 wrong. So 4 out of 6 right.
Right.
You're passing.
Here we go, Brad. The official words of House Lannister.
Oh yeah, no way.
Oh man, no, I'm not gonna get it because I remember the conversation. It's not Lannister always pays their debts. I know it's something different.
I'll give you half credit. I said the exact same thing. I was like, damn it.
Oh man, I don't remember what it actually is though.
It's like the dumbest house words ever, too.
It's a pretty dope Katy Perry song though.
Is it? Clue. Do you know of a lot of Katy Perry songs?
What is it?
You hear me roar.
Oh,
They're lines. That makes sense, but it doesn't say anything about their house. Most of the ones they say something about the house. Or I guess not. Stark is winter is coming. Yeah, that was a dumb one.
That's their house words.
Hear me roar. Yeah, because I thought of the same thing you did. The conversation that Bran has with the Maester.
That sounds way better too.
What?
The first thing that you guys both said.
Oh yeah, Lannister always pays their debts.
Yeah.
It's because it gets brought up. That's another thing that gets mentioned every other episode. All right, here's one that's kind of it's behind the scenes show a little bit. For one of the big roles of the show, they only had to audition one actor. Who's the one actor who got it off one after being the first audition?
Jon Snow.
That's what I thought. That's what I would have thought too. But
no, I've heard George R. R. Martin talk about this a bunch. It was Peter Dinklage for Tyrion.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
He probably didn't even need to audition. George R. R. Martin said a bunch of times that he wanted him specifically if he could get him.
Brad, are you pro dwarf tossing or against?
Dude, that sounds like a good time. I'm not gonna lie.
They banned it from Washington strip clubs. Maybe everywhere, I guess.
Well,
but apparently they've been doing this in strip clubs. Apparently,
now
I wish somebody would have told me about that before, that I could have experienced that.
We gotta start an underground league, Brad. You in?
Dwarf tossing league.
Oh man!
Boss.
First rule of dwarf tossing: don't speak of dwarf tossing.
Have you ever watched Stefan on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Oh God, well, that's that thing when two midgets are.
Great SNL bits.
Is it my turn or is it your turn?
I think it was yours.
All right, Brad. What was Rob Stark's dire wolf's name?
Yeah, I couldn't remember this.
Yeah, I don't remember.
His is the second least memorable name behind Sansa's. I still can't remember hers. I haven't even looked it up yet.
Well, what about the youngest son? They don't
I
even
remembered
really
it.
talk
Shaggy
about him.
Dog.
Oh, that's right. He says that when they're down in the crypt.
It took me a while, but I did eventually remember it.
Isn't that also a Tim Allen movie?
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, Sansa's dire wolf was Lady. That's right. It died in like episode 3 though, so or maybe it was 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
it
ideas.
wasn't-
No ideas on Rob's though.
I don't. No. I don't know.
Gray Wind.
Gray Wind? Do they even say that?
They must at some point. How many can you name? So I gave you Lady, Shaggy Dog, and Grey Wind. Can you name the other 4?
Nope. Just Snow. And because I'm sitting here over here trying to rack
not
my
even
brain.
named
of what
Snow.
Ari- It's not. What's it? Ghost, isn't it?
Yeah, Ghost. There you go.
Ghost. Yeah, I can't remember Arya's dog's name though.
Nymeria. I remember that better because the books. It comes up more in the books. Like in the books, there's rumors of a giant she-wolf leading a wolf army. They just keep mentioning it every once in a while, which they don't in the show, which is kind of annoying because I feel like in the books it's actually going to come into play and going to attack Spill. But yeah, hers is Nymeria. Bran is Summer, which seems weird because he's lives in Winterfell. You said Ghost. What was is there 7 or 6?
You're
I
asking
don't
me
know why
like
I'm
I
asking you, Ricky. That must be all right. I can't remember if there's any other ones.
I did just watch this. It was in the first episode. Huh?
Yeah, when they get them. All right. I think you'll get this one. What was Jonah Mormont's father's name and his job?
Oh, he was what did they call that? Fucking the head of the Night Watch, but I can't think of what the actual name is. And I can't think of his name either.
Yeah.
Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Oh, actually, yeah. Shit, I wrote Captain down, but you're right. Lord Commander.
Got the
Nice.
exact verbiage. Good job, bro.
That's huge. It's a weird name anyway. 'Cause it's Gior or something like that. Gior Mormont. I think I called him Boar. Bior.
Brett.
We invented the remix.
We need to dive into your music career next time you're on.
Oh man, get Tony on there.
Yeah,
Talk
you and
about
Tony
it.
B, you guys can rap battle.
Shit, I'd take him. No, we used
Do the
to.
high road, yeah. Talk about.
We used,
Dad
dude. He writes. He likes to write. I like to just have fun with it. I was always making hot tracks. I think that's why he got annoyed at me. I'm like, dude, just think about it though. We could be millionaires. You know, I was like, all it takes is one of these hot tubs and bitches. You know, I was like, dude, hot tubs and bitches was a hit song from the very beginning. I just don't know what. I don't.
Never got
I
the
don't-
shot.
Oh, could you imagine the video though? I mean, it's just perfect. Like, turn it into a music video and tell me I don't get 1 million views with that. Somebody's gonna steal my ideas. I copyrighted that just for everybody. Oh man, I have a few. I still have a couple left. I wish I had the computer with all of our old stuff on it, but it's been a long time, man. A few years. I used to have had a big booth. I think Ricky saw it. Ricky was definitely there a few times.
Yeah, your
Deal.
booth is set.
Yeah. Yeah. Good old days. I know he still writes, dude. It's been a long time for me. But yeah, you can tell him to pick a beat, and then we'll write something and do it on your podcast.
There we go.
I'll be down for that.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I should probably get in there and get back with the fam, fellas. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah.
But
thanks for coming.
yeah, I wish I would have been there, man. I was trying to come, but I just got 2 kids. Single dad life is pretty rough sometimes. So
yeah, I mean, hopefully the kids start feeling better. We're definitely probably do a lot of our podcasts over Skype. Scheduling's so hard. It's so much easier if people don't have to actually travel.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But if you ever can, come in. Definitely.
yeah, dude, just talk to him, and then whenever, if he's got some time, like I'm gonna have my schedule is actually changing here pretty soon, so I should have quite a few days like free because I'll be working 12s. So whenever, just that would be fun to get Tony and actually come in there. I feel like it gives more of a personal, feel to the conversation for sure.
Yeah, it's a little different vibe. Sometimes they end up going super long because of it. But that's all right. Yeah, as long as we can get. It's so hard to schedule. Like I said, we haven't even done one for like 2 weeks because of that. But
Yeah.
hopefully we can get time when multiple people can come in, and we'll have more microphones by then too.
Yeah.
We have like 3 good microphones right now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
You still got an Xbox still?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'm gonna buy,
do the Madden.
2K is on sale because it's All-Star Weekend, so I'll probably end up buying it.
Yeah, I was like, I played it a little bit, and then I was like, man, I'm not feeling it too much, and I was gonna get rid of it. And then what happened is I rented it and I forgot it. It was a red box, man, and I forgot to turn it in. And I was like, yeah, well, whatever. I'll just get rid of it for cheap. And then I saw how much they actually charged me, and I was like, nah, I'm holding on to this thing, even if I never played it. I was like, yeah, like those little tiny cases, so easy just to like, man, charge me $70 for 2K.
Yeah.
All right, fair play, Redbox, fair play. But all right, guys, thanks for having me on. My phone's about. All right, late.
Peace. See ya.